All right, welcome back to KM6 LYW Radio, the show about amateur radio or ham radio, reimagining radio in the information age. And today I'm walking up to the top of the hill here to the amateur radio AX.25 network node. It's a real high-powered packet radio repeater here. And I just thought I'd share maybe, what I learned, what I changed about it. Go back to see one of my older videos if you want to see how to really set up one of these. But this is just some updates on the network node. This time on KM6 LYW Radio. Welcome back. So just a quick recap. There's a 100-watt solar panel and on top of a Yaesu 2980 Raspberry Pi and a 16 amp hour battery that's partially buried in that ammo box. I'm going up this mast here. We got a new Wi-Fi adapter. So you see this is a USB cable and it's attached to a different Wi-Fi adapter. I had a TP link up there before and it was just awful. So go ahead and if you're going to get a spare Wi-Fi adapter, get the MediaTek version. So this is how I get my Wi-Fi internet access all the way down to the shack down there. That's probably over 100 yards and I'm easily getting Wi-Fi down to the house here. So this thing is on the internet and on the AX.25 network. Up top, of course, we've got the Diamond X200 and honestly I was a little disenchanted with it in that it's kind of warped. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I don't know, it kind of developed a warp, but if you're OCD, that's a problem. But if you're just a radio operator, that's okay too. So this is the AX.25 network node, updated as of right now. So what does all that mean? Why would you even want one of these? So this is AX.25 network node. So it does packet radio networking, and it's part of a much larger network here in Northern California. So this will do keyboard to keyboard stuff. There's a dynamic routing table where these nodes discover each other, and I can talk to operators on packet radio using the network all the way from Oregon to Los Angeles. In addition to that, it's also a WinLink email server. So if you have a WinLink email client hooked up to a radio, this is a WinLink email server also. It also has like a bulletin board on there, if you know, like from the 1980s. There's actual BBS on there, and it has there's video games. You can talk to other users. There's chat rooms installed. So this is a server, basically, one node on a much larger network here in Northern California on 145050. So having lifted it off the solar panel, this is what's actually in this 50 caliber ammo box. There's the Yaesu 2980, a super cheap solar charge controller, which is showing maximum charge right now. And under here is a 16 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery, and of course a Raspberry Pi over here, which is the computer and the brains of this network. So its Wi-Fi adapter is actually on this USB cable, and it goes up to that MediaTek Wi-Fi adapter. Do not get anything but MediaTek. It's the least amount of problems. Of course, there's a 5-volt buck converter to run all of that. So stuff that I changed on this, initially this was at 80 watts, this Yaesu 2980. That's about 14 amps. And honestly, after 3 days of rain, this battery would die at night. So this is only 16 amp hours, 3 days of rain, and you're not going to get 24-hour service out of this. So I did reduce this to 30 watts. There is a low voltage cutoff in this. If you go through these menu settings, you want to set this to I think it was 11.5 volts for the cutoff, and then 12.5 volts to restore power. So, when the sun comes up in the morning, you want to make sure you have a big difference between your low voltage cutoff and your restoration voltage. Because the first thing this thing does is sends out a beacon, which of course dips the battery voltage. And also make sure your first beacon is at least 15-20 minutes after boot. We can do that with DigiPi. The other thing that I learned right away was these radials here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them, but make sure they're not over your solar panel. Okay, so if you come here and this is absolutely covered with bird crap, you're going to get only a fraction of the solar power that this thing was designed to do. And this was designed to do 100 watts, right? So that's 5 amps in full sun. That means it'll charge this battery in about 3 hours in full sun. But if it's sunny or if it's raining, you're only going to get half an amp, and you're into deficit spending basically at that point. Other things I noticed is these battery terminals really need to be retightened on a regular basis. I don't know why. The Raspberry Pi CPU temperature, it gets warm, but it doesn't throttle, so it gets up to 60 C in the summer, and then right now when it's freezing out here, or it was, it gets down to 30 C. And speaking of freezing, these lithium iron phosphate batteries cannot go below 32 degrees. There is no temperature protection here, but you know, I live in the warm state, the sunshine state here in California, so there's really no chance of freezing here. You know, and I'm really glad I spent the extra money and got this bracket here, this stand for the solar panel, because I can definitely elevate it more. The sun is so low on the horizon, so definitely getting 5 amps out of that. In fact, I could probably go a little steeper. And just to make sure the node's working here, we got DigiPi up and running. If I can get it out of the sun. DigiPi, it's running AX.25 node, and it's got the PAT email client. I don't know if I can get Wi-Fi to work while it's sitting on the ground, but you can get the AX.25 network interface up and go in here. There's a little terminal. I can't believe Wi-Fi is going this far. Of course, there's really low noise out here in the country. And of course, here we are with the network terminal is up and running. And of course, we can use PAT to check email if we want. Go to the PAT email interface. And this is all talking to the Raspberry Pi. That's right about there in this case under the solar panel. And of course, using RF, I can get to radios all over Northern California. So yeah, this is the email interface. It's loading really slow. Can't believe Wi-Fi is going that far. So yeah, this is our inbox, our outbox, all that stuff. So we can do email here as well. So totally off-grid, completely self-reliant. Solar powered, nice heavy gain antenna, a real Wi-Fi adapter. I'm loving that, and zero maintenance. This thing just stays up and running forever. Actually, you know, even after I'm a silent key, there's no reason this wouldn't continue to operate up here in California. So thanks for hanging out with me, checking on the AX.25 WinLink node up here on the hill. I'm gonna head back down to the house. Hey, if you want to know more about that DigiPi and the software that's running on that, of course, that's available at digipi.org. It's something I give out to patrons of the channel, so anything in the Patreon bucket for KM6LYW is totally going to help out with the channel and get you access to that software. So if you build a node like this, all you need to do is flash that SD card and do everything you just saw right up there. Hey guys, my name is Craig. I am in sunny California in the dead of winter in December. Amateur radio call sign KM6LYW, and I'm clear.